L1 Games closed down right now for the coronavirus quarantine, lockdown, whatever you want to call it. This is day 47. I never thought it was going to go this long. Um, I'm a little bit surprised to see that it's gone this long, but I guess it is what it is. What are you going to do? Um, I I'm at a point where I don't, I'm going to say I don't even care anymore. I'm just kind of just sitting back, like whatever happens, happens. Um, I get it. I understand why we're, quarantine, lockdown. I understand why businesses aren't up and running. I'll do my part and I'll stay at home. And when businesses open back up, I'll come out and I'll hopefully reap the benefits of a huge shopping extravaganza because I imagine everyone wants to get back out and to the stores that they love and shopping and everything. So we'll see how that goes. But 47 days, I mean, we're about to hit 50 days. By the time this is over, I'll be at the 2 month mark, basically, of being closed down, which is insane. I mean, if you think about the amount of income, I could potentially make in 2 months. As I mentioned in my last stream, I'm not being asked to pay rent for April, and anytime I'm closed this month will be prorated from my lease. So that's all. It's really awesome. It's very good of Simon Corporation, who owns the mall, to do that. So I've got no complaints on that end. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully, they're just gonna say, "Hey, you don't have to do this." I'm not even, I guess, going to ask about March because I closed down about halfway through March. On the 18th was our last day open, and that was the only like a three-quarter of a day before we shut everything down and went home. So I don't know if they're going to prorate that rent for us as well. I mean, I don't want to be the guy who asks for too much, but it would seem fair that we don't have to pay full rent. You cannot wait to get back to support me. Thank you. What GameCube stuff do you have in the store? I mean, one of the HDMI adapters. I do have the HDMI adapters over there. I'm looking. I've got one on the wall. So I don't know if I have any more in the back though. As for the games, I haven't been in the store for so long. I forget what I have in stock. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, but 2 months closed, and I'll tell you, I haven't minded it at all. I've enjoyed this. I'm treating it like a big vacation. I'm doing all kinds of projects around the house. If you follow me on Twitter at L1 Games, you already know. I built this little ottoman tray, and I did some experiments with burning the wood instead of staining it. Then I just went out and I did my entire garden fence. I built a garden about 3 years ago, and I burned the whole fence all the way around to give this cool stained look. So I just did that. Um, some of you have probably already seen the other stuff I've done. I've ripped out an entire wall. I'm building a future wall, building shelving. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's been nuts, and I'm just enjoying the time off. Silver lining, make lemonade from lemons, whatever you want to call it. I I'm not going to be the guy who sits back crying about, oh, I need to be in business. It's my right. Blah blah blah. You know, I am. I don't tend to get political on this channel, but I will say this: um, I understand my rights, and life has already beat 4 GameCube titles during the quarantine, and I just I want to open. Of course, I want to do business. I don't want to do it. I don't want to benefit off of other people getting sick, though, and I believe that could be the case, and that's that. So, you know, I do have a right to be in business. I do have a right to subject myself to being sick if I want to, but I don't have the right of doing it to someone else. And I definitely don't want to be getting old people sick or whatever. That's not cool. Basically, all rights have limitations: freedom of speech, right to bear arms, freedom of religion, all of it. There are limitations, and those limitations end when you might potentially be harming someone else. So, more simply put, my right to swing my fist ends at your face. So I'm just following that little rule of law, rule of thumb, whatever you want to call it, and enjoying myself. Why wouldn't I? If I'm going to be stuck at home, why not just enjoy myself? And I have been. This has been great. I mean, this makes me want to retire more than ever. but but I am eager to get back to business and do what I do. You know, I do miss it. I miss coming to the store and talking to gamers and selling games and getting stuff in trade and refurbishing and bringing video game history back to life and putting it back on the shelves. You know, I miss all that. I want to experience that. Because it's what I do. As you can see, I've grown a ridiculous amount of facial hair. It's the most I've ever had. I haven't shaved this whole time we've been off, and this is all I grow, by the way, in that time. It's pathetic. But yeah, so that's just been something I've been doing. Why not? I'll probably shave when I come back to work. I came in today, of course, to do my normal Monday thing. I paid my internet bill, came, and I wanted to get that paid, so I paid that. And I just checked the balance on the book. I checked the credit card statements to make sure no one's like making crazy charges on my cards while I'm not, here. I have once or twice. I had, geez, it was a few months ago now, but I had like a charge on my business credit card for like hundreds of dollars worth of like baby stuff at some store in another state. So if you catch that stuff while there's still pending transactions, the bank will just take them right off your card. You don't have to fight them, nothing. So that's what I like to do. Once a week, I just kind of go over my books. I look at things. I make sure nothing crazy is happening, or nothing I haven't authorized is happening. So I checked all that out today. I paid my internet bill. Still paying for internet while I'm here. Um, I still have rent checks written for the months that I don't have to pay rent. So that's a little, I guess I could reincorporate those back into my books. But I'm gonna hold on until we get back and we find out what's going on. I may just pay a couple months ahead in rent, and then just be ahead of the game. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it yet, but I was before I found out that I wasn't gonna have to pay rent. I was coming in and I was writing my rent checks as if I was going to pay the rent. So security guard, rocking some fresh new Jordans with your credit card, right? Yeah, nothing like that, fortunately. So no worries there. Security's on it though. I gotta say, I came in last week and today, and as soon as I rolled up, the guy from security, who I see around here all the time, even just during normal business, he was right there, man, in a little SUV, pulled right up. Hey, what's up, man? And let me in, so I didn't have to. Typically, what you have to do is you have to call security, and they come to a specific loading dock. You can't just pick any loading dock. There's just one that they're using right now, and they'll let you in at that point. And if you have to call and wait, it's a pain. I mean, it could take several minutes, but he's been on it, man. He keeps an eye on the cars that come in, and he's at the point now, I guess, where he recognizes my car and just pulled right in behind me and let me in. So getting in was easy. And yeah, then I come into the store, and it's great about the store because I'm not worried about any kind of germs or anything in here. No one's been in the store for 47 days aside from me, so it's probably the cleanest place I could possibly be right now. But I come in, I just make sure everything's looking good, nothing's gone crazy, a hole in the roof or crazy credit card transactions, or something fell down in the back room or whatever. Nothing crazy has happened so far. Last week I did a test on my point of sale system. I just booted everything up. I made sure it was still taking credit cards, and that nothing funny has happened in the time since I've been gone, because the last thing I want to do is come back, get ready to do business, and all of a sudden something's wrong with my point of sale. That would be a nightmare. So no worries about that right now. I guess the question then becomes, when am I coming back? Here in Ohio, they're starting to roll out business now. So it's right now, I think, essential business, like, you know, um, um, medical procedures, and stuff like that are the first thing that people will be able to go back and do. And then they say on the 12th, we'll probably start rolling out regular retail. I don't know what the rules are going to be on that, though. And I'm seeing already all kinds of stuff. This is going to be a real pain. And I'm almost just ready to stay closed for the whole month, just to avoid, confrontations, and, because what they're saying is, maybe when we get back to business, there'll be some kind of mandate that says everyone has to wear a mask and all customers have to wear a mask. And I'm fine wearing a mask. I don't care if I have something over my face, whatever, it looks dorky. Okay, I don't really care. But I'm already seeing people are printing up these things. You don't have the right to tell me I have to wear a mask. It's a violation of my rights under Article blah blah blah. And I'm a veteran and I have overlying health condition or underlying health conditions. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm a veteran too. Shut up, put on a stupid mask, and go shopping. But what'll happen is I know that I'll be told that I have to wear a mask and I can only serve people who wear masks if this is how it happens. And if that's the case, if it's mandated that I do so, then I'm going to have to enforce it. I'm not going to do anything to compromise my business or to risk or jeopardize my business because some guy walks in doesn't want to wear a mask. So I'm hoping that, honestly, I would say just keep businesses closed a little while longer. And when that doesn't have to be a necessity, open businesses up. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want some jerk in here calling me a Nazi because I'm just enforcing the rules. And I know that it's a crazy thing for me to say that, for me to say, well, just keep businesses closed. I don't care. But again, you know, I'm prepared for this. And I guess I have to understand that some other people aren't as prepared for this as I was. Just being paranoid. And I've mentioned this in other streams, I know, but I'll reiterate it. Um, hey, Patrick, what's up, man? And I know that there are other businesses that are like scraping it together right now, just trying to stay in business, and that this is hurting them. So it's hard though for me to both be empathetic and be logical. I've spent 21 years now in business, and over the course of the last decade, I've made sure I had a bank account with a certain contingency plan for disaster. And because of that, I'm sitting at home comfortably during this event, and it's not costing me, with the mall not charging me rent for April and May for the time that I'm closed. It's not costing me as much. And of course, I am losing a ton of potential income. But, DeWine has already pulled back on the mask requirement. Okay, thank you. Good. For customers, stores have been open in the store. I didn't get to read all of that. I'm sorry. I was too busy focusing on the mask thing. So good. I'm hoping that's the case. Last I heard, it was on the 12th. Is that what you've seen? I have not been keeping up. Maybe I think today at 2 he'll have another thing. I should probably get on and see what's going on. It's probably near 2 right now, so I'll probably be doing this when DeWine gets on and starts giving his speech. I got to give the guy props, though, for being up there every day, answering questions, making sure everyone knows what's happening, keeping people informed. That's all really good stuff. And like I was saying before, I'm comfortable right now, and I don't have to be back. I don't have to be open. I would like to be making a lot of money. It's the same thing with CTS Promotions. I just formalized and announced the cancellation of SciCon. So just coming on. So sorry if I missed it already. ETA on when you're able to come back. Yeah, I was just talking about that, man. Perhaps on the 12th. It depends on what DeWine says and when they start rolling out non-essential businesses. So we'll see. Right now, tentatively, the 12th. But yeah, I was saying CTS Promotions, we've canceled now. We canceled our March show. I mean, it just happened right as our March show was coming up. And I've lost way more money with CTS than I've lost at the store in terms of sales. We had a huge show planned. We had over 430 vendors tables. We were expecting 6,000 people through the door, and that's all gone. Now we've officially canceled SciCon, which was going to be, we were hoping for 10,000 people through the door at a minimum for that show, with an average ticket cost $50. We had celebrities lined up, Summer Glau, Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor, Michael Biehn from the original Terminator, I mean, it's stupid. We had some really good people coming, and we had everything lined up, and we had flights paid for, and I mean, it's nuts how much money we had invested into that show, and it's done. It's not happening. So, you know, I can safely say that, you know, I've lost as much as everyone else, if not more. But I guess it's just a matter of preparedness. I was ready for something crazy to happen, and it happened. And here I sit, and I'm okay with that. When business comes back, I'm probably going to be, at the store. I'm going to be well behind now in terms of just like building up my bank account and making money, and I'll have some makeup to do. It'll probably take me 4 6 months to make up, really what I've lost in terms of just being able to put. And I know it's weird to say I've only been closed 2 months, but it'll take me that long to make it up. But I'm paying overhead while I'm gone. I'm paying me. You know, I'm paying my other bills now that I'm not paying rent. Though I'm still paying for internet and everything, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into the overhead that outside of rent that you don't think about. So it's just kind of crazy. How far in advance do you have to book for CTS? We book our shows now like a year in advance, at least. So, you know, um, we had tables sold for SciCon, booths sold for SciCon. So we have to refund all that. I think it's all been refunded now, actually. And just, it's all crazy. We had the celebrities booked well in advance. Some of them almost 8 to 6 months before the show. Even further than that, nearly a year. So that it's a real shame because SciCon was going to be something very cool, and now we just don't know. We don't know if and when they're going to allow mass gatherings. We didn't know how it was going to affect us. A June show, it's just too soon. We're still hoping that they allow us to have mass gatherings in August for our August show. What are the most popular consoles and games that I sell? Retro Nintendo. Anything retro Nintendo. NES, Super Nintendo, GameCube, and 64. Those are the ones that people ask for the most, I would say. So, yeah, hopefully the 12th I'll be up and running again. We'll see what happens. Not paying rent for the time that I'm closed, which is nice. Although March is up in the air, I don't know if that's like going to be prorated for me like retroactively if they're going to go back because I paid that rent long before I knew I was going to be closed. Um, what else? You've all probably noticed my social network presence has been um, has been substandard lately. Typically, I do all my social networking or my social media when I'm at work, and I haven't been at work for 47 days. So it's like getting online for me is like it's kind of an afterthought sometimes. I realize, oh man, the whole day has gone by and I haven't even looked online. It's kind of like how I've always separated my business in personal lives. When I get home, I don't log into anything. I don't even check my phone. My ringer's off. Once I'm out of work, that's it. My personal life is my personal life. My work life is my work life. So it's been really hard for me to balance social media while I'm at home every day. I'll start working on a project. I'll get up in the morning, I'll eat some breakfast, I'll start working on a shelf or whatever I'm building or whatever I'm doing. And next thing you know, it's 7 p.m. I'm ready for some dinner. And then I'm watching a movie or something. And I don't even think about Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any of it. So I've been making it a point to at least get on Twitter as much as I can and drop a few tweets, follow cool people, all that good stuff. So, Twitter is probably the best place to find me being social right now. And again, that's L1 Games. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, please do. So, yeah. Otherwise, what am I doing outside of work related stuff? I'm doing the same stuff everyone else is doing. If it's not a project around the house, I'm watching something, I'm streaming something, or playing a video game. Although I haven't been gaming as much in the past week or two as I was prior to that. Um, Yeah, it's weird. For a guy who's home as much as I am, I bought Beat Saber and I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber. I really enjoy that, and I plan to stream again soon. I'm gonna finish. I started streaming Flashback on L1 Streams. Check it out if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon, all that good stuff. But I started Flashback and I played through like most of Flashback, and I still have to finish that. And then, which is sad because if you're good at it, it's like one of my favorite games, so I should be really good at it by now. But if you can just fly through it, you could do it in one sitting, an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you should be able to beat Flashback. But I think I had an hour and 50 minutes in, and I still had two whole levels. I had the Earth and the Alien level to go. So I just decided to call it a day, and I'll go back and finish it. But I also downloaded that Doctor Who VR game, and I'm going to play that. Um, I'm really interested in that. I love anything in VR. But Beat Saber is amazing. I've been holding out for a physical copy, hoping that like limited run might do it or something, but I got sick of waiting. So hopefully they'll still do it. But until then, I have the digital version. Um, Cut down some trees yesterday, and some walnut trees, and my neighbor and I, keeping our distance from one another, cut down the trees. That was interesting. And yeah, what have I been watching? Okay, so let's talk about what we're watching. On Netflix, I just finished Lock and Key, which is interesting. It's a little kid oriented sometimes, but then some of the more creepy aspects and everything kind of as an adult keep me there. Like this is actually pretty intense. I didn't understand some of the character motivation a lot of times. Like there were things like I was like, "There's a simple answer to this," and they just weren't doing it, which was a little frustrating. That's frustrating in any show. I watched that new Mel Gibson movie, Bloodfather. That was actually pretty interesting. It reminded me a lot of his character from Payback. He played Porter in Payback, which is based on the Parker novels by Donald Westlake. But it was actually a pretty good movie. I liked it, so that was interesting. On oh no, there was a movie I watched, kind of superhero-y type thing. It had the dude who played Oliver and Arrow in it, and it's called Code 8, where kind of people have superpowers, and it's interesting. There's a superhero registration type thing, and they have these robots that can fight them. They're like police robots, and these guys are committing crimes, and I mean it was all pretty good, kind of on along those superhero lines. Although they were kind of like super villains. I mean, root for the bad guy type thing. Then on Hulu, I just started watching a show called What We Do in the Shadows, and it's documentary style, so it's gonna look like The Office or one of those shows, Parks and Rec. But it's about these four vampires who live in a house together, and three of them are your gothic style vampires, and I forget the dude's name. He played Denham Renham's son in the IT Crowd. I forget his name. Matthew Barry, is that his name? But he plays one of the vampires. Dude is hilarious, and the fourth vampire is an energy vampire. He just sucks the energy out of you by like talking to you about boring stuff. And the other three are just like these gothic, totally not with the times anymore, wearing the old school Victorian clothes. I mean, it's pretty funny. So I've been enjoying that. Dave, if you're a Little Dicky fan, you got to watch Dave. It's amazing. It's funny. I've been watching the original Outer Limits series. I just watched one that had Adam West in it as like an astronaut going to Mars. It was crazy. I'm like Adam West, that's awesome, and he's like in a serious role, not like a corny Batman type thing. So that was fun. And Lego Masters, I watched. I can't believe I watched Lego Masters, but I found it strangely fascinating. That's a kind of a guilty pleasure show, but it is pretty amazing what the people build in the show, and I thought it concluded pretty well. So I'll be interested to see if they do a second season of that one. On Prime, I just watched a mockumentary called History of Time Travel. That was entertaining, but as a fan of time travel, like my favorite stuff, my favorite movies and sci-fi are all time travel stuff. I did have a real problem with how they depicted things in the show and how they made time travel work. I wasn't feeling it. It was weird. It was like as the documentary went on and they talked about certain events, the documentary changed because the people they were talking about had done things that changed history. Um, Obviously, it's not how it would work. It was definitely weird, but again, strangely entertaining. I watched the whole thing and I didn't have a real problem with it. I watched that Spielberg flick, Super 8, last night. I hadn't seen it in a while. That was actually really good. I think that movie got panned when it came out, and I enjoyed it. I watched a movie called Man Versus, which is great. It's kind of like one of those. It's a movie shot with regular cameras, but some of the footage is like the point of view footage, like a Blair Witch type thing, but most of it's not. And it's just this dude who goes out into the woods to film his reality show about him being a survivalist, and crazy events ensue. I don't want to give any spoilers, but for what it was, I was actually really impressed with it. It was very entertaining and fun to watch. So I enjoyed that. And what else did I watch? Oh, frequently asked questions about time travel with Chris O'Dowd. If you're an IT Crowd fan, again, that movie is great. Another time travel movie. It's excellent up to a certain point where their time travel gets a little sketchy. There's a little bit of a paradox type thing that happens. It's questionable, but the movie's so fun that you can totally overlook it. So that was good. And I just started watching The Feed, which is the first episode is really good, and it's funny because it's kind of a show about the technology that I want most to see, where people are all connected to this feed at all times. So they basically have an implant, and what I would see as being contact lenses in the future, where everything's like AR. You know, they constantly have this feed going, like they can have videos playing wherever they are, and they hear it, but no one else does, and it's all connected to the internet. And I don't know. I'm kind of amped for tech like that. Like I can't wait to plug in and be part of some gestalt entity where I can collect knowledge and whatever. But I know a lot of people are freaked out about that, but not me, man. I'm all about technology and becoming part of it. So yeah, that's all everything I've been watching lately. I think that's it. Yeah, so and that's I think pretty much everything that's happening. I mean, I don't have as much to update with right now because I just haven't been doing as much. And I think a lot's going to be happening though here in, you know, the next few, days, really. So I'll definitely be updating. I'll do another stream soon. Can you believe this is the seventh one? Seven. It's ridiculous. Um, I mean, really, I thought we'd be closed down for a little while and then we'd be back up and running. I never expected 47 days. I never expected to do 7 live streams just on coronavirus, talking about this and what's happening. It's a little nuts. So yeah, the store hasn't changed. I mean, here's the store. It's so quiet. Listen to that. So lots happening. You be continuing to rock the beard once this is over? That's a good question, man. I don't know. I've kind of enjoyed growing it. It's really, I don't know if you can tell from the video viewpoint, but I got a lot of stray hairs. I have a wire brush type of facial hair, so I don't know if I'm able to keep this or not. Um, Maybe I'll trim it down and keep a little bit, but in all honesty, I've always hated facial hair. So this is just something I did for the heck of it. I figured I've never tried to grow facial hair, so I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. It's not like I have to worry about anyone caring what my face looks like. So yeah, that's it. That's I was trimming it along here at first. That's why this is so thin. I grow facial hair so slowly, but then I started growing that in. Okay, sorry about that. Something happened, and it totally kicked me off. It did that to me last time too. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, yeah, the facial hair. It is what it is. I might shave. I don't know. It really does make me look old. Look at all that gray. It's ridiculous. I don't want to be, advertising my age to people. So I think I may trim it down. At least trim it down before I go back to work. But we'll see what happens. Let's have a vote. What do you think? Maybe I'll do a poll on Twitter. But yeah. So I think that's everything, though, guys. By the way, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Day 47, part 7 of the coronavirus videos. I do plan, at the very least, one more update similar to this before I open the store. But maybe I'll do one when I open as well, just to kind of show you guys me kicking everything off and getting everything back together. Um, I've been paying all my bills, coming in once a week here to the store physically. I could do most of this from home, but I choose to come in because it just seems like it seems right to come in and do it. And since I don't have to interact with other people or get close to other people or whatever, it's not like I'm putting myself or anyone at risk. So I don't mind coming in and doing this. So it also gives me this opportunity to just do a quick live stream every time. But my main purpose for coming in here is check the mail, pay my bills, make sure the store is in good order, nothing's falling apart, no leaks, no holes. Check my statements, make sure no one's stolen my credit card information while I've been kind of relaxed at home. Because when you're not online every day and you're not, looking at your money every day and everything at the store, it could quickly and easily go awry, and that's the last thing I need. So, yeah, I'll say once again, the mall seemingly is not going to charge me rent for April and any time that we miss in May, but I don't know about March from the 18th to the end of the month. I don't know if they're going to prorate that for me and maybe credit that to my first full month's rent after I come back to business. Um, as far as opening goes, probably the 12th, but that's up in the air. I'm not 100% sure. Someone earlier was saying that we might not have to do this mandatory mask thing for customers. I don't mind wearing one, as I'm doing business. If that's what I have to do, that's cool. I don't care. I'll be very glad if customers don't have to wear them. Although I might still hang a plexiglass sheet or something in front of my cash wrap because I don't know, that just seems right. In this, climate, it seems like the right thing to do. So, and that would be really easy. I could probably knock that out, in just a few minutes. I'd have to move one of my wall scrolls there because I put the wall scrolls on the ceiling, and that Silent Hill one hangs right over my cash wrap, like the edge of it. But I'll probably work something out. If that's what I need to do, I'll do it. I'm not that concerned. But I can get some plexiglass at Lowe's, have it cut to fit, and just hang it with some wire, and I think that would do the trick. So yeah, I'm excited to get back, and as much as I'm loving this vacation, I'll tell you what, it really does make me question whether I'm going to sign another lease in 2021. Um, Although I did use that as kind of fuel when they told me I was going to have to pay rent for April and May. I wrote back. I'm not going to say I bitched and moaned or anything, but it was a strongly worded email, and I don't think that had any impact on whether I was going to pay rent for April or not. I think if I hadn't written it, the same thing would have happened. But I like to think maybe it had some impact, like I made a difference. But I said that I would strongly reconsider a lease in 2021 if I had to pay rent for this thing. So luckily, that's not something I want to have to consider. My 2021 lease will really just have to do with whether I want to sign another lease, whether I want to continue to run L1 games or not. So every year now, that's become more of a thing. Like, is this what I want to continue doing? Maybe there are other things. I don't know. But yeah, so I think that's everything for now, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate all your input, the questions, and everything. Um, if you like interacting with me on a personal level like this, like the streams, you can also check out L1 Streams. I don't have a schedule for when I stream. I just kind of throw it out there. It posts on Twitter and Facebook. And I'll play a game, and you can just interact, talk, ask questions, whatever you want. I really enjoy that. I like the more personal aspect of that. You can also check me out on Twitter at L1 Games, on Instagram at L1 Games. I'm really utilizing Twitter a lot lately, just trying to keep a prominent social media presence. And yeah, so that's it for now. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon so you'll get updates for future videos. I am going to do a contest, I think, maybe even before the end of this coronavirus thing. Just to say thanks to my subscribers. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm out of here, guys. Thanks a lot. I will see you all soon. Take it easy.